of the advantages to lucid dreaming is that you can, when you start with a lucid state, you can take that into different directions. You can either say, okay, I'm just going to go with this dream and see where it takes me, kind of being an observant, or you can take control of that dream right then and say, okay, now I'm going to be a part of this dream, or you can take yourself to a completely different location and experience something completely different. And there's one thing that even before I was able to lucid dream, I had this feeling that I was able to be telekinetic, I guess is the term. And that is obviously thinking about objects, moving objects with my mind, or whatever you want to say, and being able to sort of control things. And this was something that, like I said, before I was a lucid dreamer, I had this dream quite frequently where, it seemed like at the right time when I needed to move something, like when, I can remember a dream where a cement truck fell over, and I had to actually kind of, just with my mind or my hand or whatever, just kind of pick it up, put it back, whatever, things like that. And I've tried to explore that a little bit with my lucid dreams, and it's not as rewarding as I thought. Sure, everybody would love to be able to pick anything up with just their mind and throw it or whatever, but once you've gotten to that point where you've basically gone on a destructive path where you've picked up every object you can think of and thrown it somewhere to see what it would do, you kind of run out of things to do. You can throw people or whatever, but I think that there are certain things that we wish we could have, that we wish we'd experience. And in some way, I believe that by lucid dreaming, we're able to kind of play out that fantasy or whatever, and then decide from there, after playing out that fantasy, whether it's rewarding or not. And one thing that I found is that simply being able to move objects with my mind in my dreams at will while I'm lucid is cool, but beyond really, there's really not too much use for it other than being destructive. And it's hard to put into words. I know there's people out there who are probably going to be watching this video saying, oh, I'd love to be telekinetic, I'd love this. But when you think about it, what all would you do? It's not like you're going to take your table and move it from room to room to room to room and then do that over and over and over again. What use do you have out of it? Yeah, sure, it'd be nice to be able to pick up your car once in a while, look underneath, or change the oil, or whatever like that. But what are the uses, besides being destructive, what are the uses of actually being able to be telekinetic? And I've tried to put myself into different situations where I thought it'd be useful, other than being short of just saving the world against whatever. If a nuclear bomb was heading our way, yeah, take it and throw it out into space or whatever. Really, there's not much else that you can do with it, and it'd be cool. Believe me, I've experienced things in my lucid dreams. In fact, I remember I was part of a car chase that started out kind of non-lucid, and then I went into a lucid state. There was probably 20 cops in a helicopter following me, and I could hear on their radio what they were talking about, spike strips and things like that. And I can remember looking at the mile marker, and they'd say what mile marker they were putting the spike strips down, and I would look out, and then I'd take those and I'd throw them, and the helicopter above, I'd take the helicopter and throw it to the ground and things like that. It was cool, but short of anarchy, there really wasn't much else use for it. And I suppose that if you didn't care and all you wanted to do was destroy things, great, telekinesis would be great. If you wanted the occasional telekinesis to actually move objects that are too heavy or whatever, that's great too. But I kind of got real bored with that, the whole move objects with my mind in my lucid dreams. And granted, I'm well aware of what's going on. I'm well aware of this experiment. I'm well aware that it's not real, but I got bored with it. So, just kind of think about that a little bit while you're trying to play out a fantasy. Leave it as such. Leave it as just a fantasy and don't over-explore it. Everybody wants to be able to move things with their minds and be powerful and things like that, but just kind of sit down and think, it's moderation. Don't do it too much because you'll get bored with it, kind of thing. That's what I found, at least in that particular aspect. I found it to just be kind of boring, I guess. So, as strange as it sounds, it's just the way it is, I guess, for me. So, that was it. That's just kind of what I wanted to touch base on was, fantasy and kind of getting bored with it, I guess.